Today is June 29th, and we are doing interviews of external organizations who have requested funding from the City of Watertown. So if you'll go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us about the program.
My name is Larry Howard. I'm actually the commander of the search and rescue team here in Cottington County.
And I'm Jim Sutton, and I'm the Director of Emergency Management, as you folks know. And the Cottington County Search and Rescue Team is totally a volunteer organization. We usually have approximately 35 members. Every one of them is a volunteer. We have no paid employees. And the Search and Rescue Team is attached to Cottington County for liability reasons for insurance and operations, but they are a volunteer organization. I oversee that organization.
Okay, so you support the law enforcement, fire departments, and the city with all kinds of service. Do you get called out by the 911 dispatch?
Yes.
Go ahead, Larry.
Yes, we do. We're our dispatch. We don't self-dispatch. It all comes through the 911 service or requests from other agencies that need our help or mutual aid support.
Okay, and the City of Watertown, is that the biggest funder?
It's probably our biggest for, maybe calls, a number of calls, but for like time that we spend, of course, when you go further away, it takes longer to accomplish stuff. Most of those are going to be a lot of recoveries and that stuff, so that takes a little bit longer hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the majority of our calls are the City of Watertown, or the lakes like Lake Pelican, Lake Compesca, and so forth. For example, in the month of July, there's 8 days that we've been requested to help with events here in Watertown. Just in Watertown. But occasionally we do get that call out of the city, out in the county, or an adjoining county, where we respond to a water emergency or a call for service.
Who else contributes to your funds?
Cottington County does right now. Like last year, we received $18,000 from the city, and this year we're receiving $17,000 from the county, plus all of our insurance is paid for by the county. And like the insurance on our building out there was $2,397 this year. The insurance on our boats and watercraft, $2,637, and insurance on our vehicles is $5,170, and then our workman's comp insurance was $1,000. So the county gave us $17,000 for operating expenses, and then it cost the county $11,204 for insurance. So the county is paying $28,204 this year for the search and rescue team, and $18,000 from the city.
Okay, so actually, when you calculate all that out, it's more from the county.
More, and it used to be about a 50-50 thing, mm-hmm. And here a number of years ago, that we had a line item budget through the fire department, and then it went over to the system that we're using now, like we're being here today. But we were receiving $25,000, and then, as I understand, when Mayor Williams is here, somebody donated like $14,000 to the City of Watertown, and it was earmarked to only could be used for the search and rescue team. So at that point, the first year, we were rolled back to $18,000, and they used $7,000 of that money to get us back up to $25,000. And the same thing happened the second year, and then in the third year, the $7,000 wasn't there, and we were back to $18,000, and we haven't got an increase since then. So last year we asked for $18,500 for a modest increase, and we've done the same thing this year because repair bills and our cost of operation increases. Electricity and heat for our building, everything goes up. But especially like the insurance through the county, that $11,000 just for insurance. So between the city and the county, the money that we ask for, it pays our operating expenses, repair bills, We don't come to the city. We haven't went to the county and asked for, for example, $40,000 to buy equipment. So what we do is we use grant programs, and we also have a fundraiser where we sell raffle tickets through the Search and Rescue Support Organization. And by doing that, we pay for the equipment, but the city and county help us with paying for our expenses.
Yeah, okay. So you're the only ice water and ice rescue team in the area. What would happen? I mean, who would get called out if you didn't exist?
Back, the team actually started in like 1993. And when it started in 93, they actually started the organization because the fire department was the one that was covering
okay.
that. But they didn't have the resources, and there was no groups out there that had the resources. And like if somebody would drown, they didn't have anybody that was actually certified to be able to go and recover that person's body.
So it would probably fall back on the fire department,
Right.
and they would have to staff up with equipment and personnel
Right, absolutely.
to do that kind of rescue that you perform.
Right.
Correct, absolutely.
And our search and rescue team is the only team in the northeast corner of the state that I'm aware of anyway that has diving capabilities where we can dive safely with dive suits with what we call dry suits. And a question that you had for us, Mayor, is how do you measure success? And to me, we measure success by being able to properly equip first responders that are volunteers to respond to calls in a professional manner, and to have closure for families that may have lost a loved one or are looking for a loved one, or be able to help the fire department by filling air tanks at a large fire, or law enforcement for a crime scene where we put up barricades and help to man the barricades so that they don't have to pay overtime for the people that they would call in to do that. And if you look at what the county spends and the city spends, and you put that together, we probably don't pay the wages and benefits of one employee.
Oh my gosh, nope, you don't. We couldn't even get one employee for the combined amount of your budget. So it's a tremendous service. There's no doubt about that. And I've been in the equipment. It's first rate, and you guys are out there helping the fire department, like you said. I actually saw you filling their air tanks, and I know they really appreciate it as well. What's your biggest challenge?
Funding is always a challenge, like equipment repairs, stuff that breaks down. You've got to come up with that money, of course, for that. The other part is to keep everybody's volunteer, so to make sure we have enough staff when the call comes out that we're able to get them away from their jobs and get them to the scene and be able to actually, be professional and actually effectively do the job we need to do.
And I'd like to add to that too. The challenge is safety. Safety of our members that are responding to these calls. To be able to properly train them and pay for training for those people, so that they aren't putting themselves into more danger than what they already are doing. And we look at the equipment. For example, on ice rescue, in the past we've always sent somebody out on the ice with a safety line on that person, so that if they fall through the ice, we can help to get them back out of there. Well, we've talked for a number of years about a hovercraft, and so that's been one of our projects. And this year we got enough money saved up to where we did purchase a hovercraft, and with that piece of equipment, we can start on the drive parking lot, drive across the drive parking lot on a cushion of air. We can go out on the ice, go into the water, come off the water onto the ice, and it's going to be so much safer for our members that are responding to somebody that falls through the ice, or if we're asked to go out and find or get somebody's dog that has fallen through the ice. And safety is a big challenge for us, and we're always talking about risk versus benefit.
Yes. It's just like the space age with the hovercraft.
Yeah.
How is that a special training to operate that thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the members actually, that we actually sent 4 members down to the factory in Indiana, and they actually had the training there, and they had to do like 4 hours of training for each individual themselves, and then they've got to actually do about another 5 to 10 hours on that unit before they can actually proficiently train somebody else, and then that person has to go through that same training again.
And they're all volunteers.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they're walking away from their jobs, going all the way to Indiana or doing all this training. So.
Wow.
And last year, just talking about training, I mean, last year I just kind of threw together some numbers. It was kind of short notice getting everything together here, but we spend about 1,600 man hours or member hours actually training just last year.
Wow.
Just to be able to stay professional and proficient to doing this.
Wow. You should calculate up the value of all your volunteers' time and present that.
Mm-hmm.
That would, I think, really shock people
Right.
at what the true value of the service is.
Yeah.
What's your vision for the search and rescue?
Yeah, I would say the vision, and we've kind of talked about it here, our vision is to be able to maintain an organization in a professional manner and to professionally equip and train these people so that when they volunteer their time, when they're going out, we can do it as safely as possible and have the equipment to accomplish the tasks that we're requested to do. And we do a lot of different things, from filling air bottles for fire departments to portable lighting at a crime scene to doing barricades and at street intersections for a fire or a law enforcement situation. And when we're called in to do that, like Larry said, we never respond to a call unless we're requested. We do not self-dispatch. And, but we want to be available to assist. And we're never billing anybody, like the city or the county organizations. We do not bill because we're already receiving funding here. Mm-hmm. And another question, when it comes to the funding, another question that is asked of us is, well, we do occasionally get called like Roberts County for assistance on something. And when we get a call from a county such as Roberts County or Kingsbury County, whatever it is, again, it's got to come from an emergency manager, law enforcement, or a fire department. And we tell them right up front to begin with is that we'll bill them for all of our expenses, for our fuel and food and a motel room if that's necessary. So the local taxpayers aren't paying out of our pockets, to support the other county.
Yes,
so
that's good to know.
Right.
So now you have a hovercraft. What more could you possibly want?
It's a constant thing too. With maintenance and vehicles get older, boats get older, and we look at the lifespan of the equipment, and we try to rotate the equipment so that each year or every other year we're buying something different to replace some older equipment that needs to be replaced.
Nice to be able to have the funds to keep everything current and in good working order.
And the good working order, that's the biggest the challenge that we have is the money that it costs. We've got a truck in the shop today, that the bill is going to be $600, so it just seems like every repair bill you go in, it's $500, $600, $100 or $1,000 to repair a vehicle. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you had one thought you would like to leave people with, what would that be?
I guess we appreciate the support of the city, the county, and all the public in that, and we hope we can continue to work together. We're here for whatever use or need that arises, not just on calls, but on these little like Camp Chance, this kind of stuff like that. We just very much appreciate the support we've got in the past and in the future also.
we appreciate the support, but I'll tell you, Merritt, I appreciate those 35 people that volunteer their time. And some of our members have been on this search and rescue team for over 20 years. And, for 20 years plus, and Larry Howard's one of them right here, that time after time they're coming out in the middle of the night to help out, and they don't ask for anything other than, good equipment and good training.
Yeah, well, thank you for all you do. You really are an extension of our emergency services, and it's critical for our community. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.